features of a three-dimensional frame is not the reality, and it is not accepted by the Vedic systems. Vedic systems are approaching this universe as now Brahm, as of 9 dimensions, of which sun, the Surya, and the human body are of sixth dimension. So the reality of the existence phenomenon within human body, or as of a sun, as of a solar universe, is to be approached as a reality parallel with the reality of the existence phenomenon. If we approach them as a sixth dimensional setup, the first letter of the Ganita Sutras is A, the sixth vowel. The first letter is having number value 6, and parallel to it, the geometric format, the sthapatya, is 6 space, and 6 space is having a geometric body hypercube 6. So human body is having Shad chakras format, and number value 6 is the first perfect number. 6 is the first perfect number, and Brahm, a formulation Brahm, when will be translated into numbers, it will give us number 28, and 28 is the second perfect number. Therefore, the Vedic mathematics as a system is a system which covers the range from the first perfect number 6, which is a number of a sun, to the second perfect number 28, which is the number of a Brahm. Therefore, the Vedic mathematics of the Ganita Sutras are higher dimensional reality base. The base of the Ganita Sutras, base of the mathematics and mathematical domain of the Ganita Sutras is higher dimensional reality. And this higher dimensional reality is which for the solar universe is taking us up till 6 space. So we have not to restrict ourselves only up till 3 space if we want to be parallel with the Vedic systems. Therefore, the students of Vedic mathematics have to learn and have to reach at a translation for the word formulations like Ekadike. Ganita Sutras are composed in Sanskrit. It is availing Devanagari alphabet. The composition of the text is in Devanagari alphabet letters, and this format is to be translated. And first translation is to be into the numbers. So each letter is having its specific number, and so we have to translate the word formulations like Ekadike into their respective words. And once we reach at the numbers translation, then step ahead we have to reach at sthapatya, means we have to reach at the geometric formats. So the second step which students of mathematics is to take in the context of the Ganita Sutras mathematics is that they have to further translate the numbers text into the geometric text. Once we will be at the geometric text, then we will be reaching from numbers values to the geometric bodies. It is this aspect which will confront us with the geometric setups. So we will be reaching from sound bits to the values of the numbers, and from values of the numbers to the geometric bodies, and then from geometric bodies we will be reaching at 3 flag points of features of the geometric bodies. First is the external characteristics, that is the boundary. Second is the middle characteristics, which is the middle version, and last is the antrik, the inner structures, which takes us to the origin. Therefore, the Vedic mathematics is approaching firstly in the sound bits form, then in the numbers values, and then it is reaching at the geometric setups. So once we have reached from numbers values domain to the geometric domain, then the mathematics transforms itself from the mathematical formulae to the technical processing steps. And once we are from numbers to the geometry, then we will be reaching at the space content Dravya. Therefore, the Ganita Sutras, which are composed in Devanagari alphabet sound bits, it unfolds itself and firstly reaches from the sound bits to the numbers values, then from numbers values to the geometric formats, and the geometric formats take to the geometric bodies, and the geometric bodies take us to first the external, the boundary, like a circumference in a surface area of a sphere, and then at the middle means each body is having a different versions. As we say, there are 5 distinct types of solids. So the middle state, and thereafter we reach at the origin. The present day approach as such for the center of a cube is not as elaborative as it should be. The center of the cube is of a dual status. Firstly, it is a point of the volume like any other point of the volume, and secondly, it is of a distinctive uniqueness of placement at a center which is of equidistant from all the 8 corner points. So it is this dual status of the center which is focused for study and chase by the Vedic mathematics. Now, the center of the cube, in fact, is the synthesis point of the 8 subcubes which synthesize as a cube. So, cube which looks like a single body, in fact, it is a synthetic setup, and it is a synthetic setup of as many as 8 cubes. Now, Vedic mathematics is approaching this reality in a absolutely different spectacles. The Vedic way to approach, to glimpse, to comprehend, to process, to work out, to utilize is absolutely different than that of the present day axioms and postulates of our mathematics, sciences and technologies. With this, I can take you a step ahead, and this step ahead is that the center of the cube, which is of a dual status, firstly being a member of the volume like any other point, and secondly as a unique, because of its unique position within the cube, as being of equidistant from all the 8 corner points, which property is not available to any other point. Now this point is a synthesis point where the innermost corner points of all the 8 subcubes are having placement, and this placement is responsible for 9 points fixation of all bodies. And further, it being of a dual status, so it is having its base, and it is this base which provides a 10 directional frame for the integrated setup of a cube. Now, this 10 directional frame integrating the setup of a cube is the feature which is availed, which is being fully exploited by the Vedic mathematics. The Ganita Sutra 1 is the source sutra, and it is a composition of 16 letters. And Ganita Upsutra 1 Anurupen is the source Ganita Upsutra, and it is a composition of 10 letters. Now this 10 directional frame takes us to the ancillary, complementary and supplementary features for a dimensional frame. So if we want to work out a particular space, then primarily we have to approach it in terms of its dimensional frame. However, simultaneously the other connected incidental features and properties will be approached in terms of the directional frames. So directional frames and the dimensional frames are two distinct but integrated and complementing and supplementing setups which are to be simultaneously availed if we want to approach this universe mathematically parallel with the reality features. Now, it is in this context that the number values which we will be having association with the letters, we will be organizing them in a 10 place value system. Now, this 10 place value system and the geometric features are interconnected in terms of 10 directional frame. Now, this feature is worked out by the Vedic systems as we call 10 folds of the transcendental code values. So these numbers, because of the 10 place value system, are having 10 distinct features for each of the letter, which is having a unique number. Now, if we work out these 10 folds for the word formulations like Shiv, I am taking up this formulation Shiv because it is the transcendental domain. It is a 5-head Lord. Each head is having 3 eyes. So this setup, this formulation Shiv, when is approached for its all 10 folds, then the first 4 folds as a word, as a single entity, it will attach value 1. Then Shiv as 2 syllables, Shi and Va, will give us value 2. Then Shiv as 4 letters, will give us value 4. And then this 4 letters, association of values 2, 2, 7 and 1, making it 12. It will take us to this. This number, the first 4 folds as such of the word formulation Shiv, are giving us value 19 altogether. The next 6 values, the 6 frames, are how we have to transcend at the origin. So origin is a seal. So center of the origin is a seal which is integrating the 8 subcubes and making it a single cube. But if this seal is not there, then these 8 subcubes will transcend and transform as a solid boundary of the space as a whole, transcendental whole at the center. This is called a transcendence. Now these 6 values for these formulations are on the computer screen, and the beauty will be that the summation value of these six values, these six folds, comes to be 519, which is precisely equal to the total letters of the Ganita Sutras and Upsutras. We can have a pass here and we can pose it to ourselves as that how the Vedic systems are approaching this universe as a reality and are glimpsing it as sound bits which take us to a light, and from light we come back to a dravya, to a content. From content we come back to the dimensional frames, and from dimensional frames we come to the artifices of numbers. And this is how the Ganita Sutras and Upsutras are composed, and this composition is of 519. This is inherently inbuilt in the formulation Shiv itself. Therefore, we can see that how our ancestors, how the Vedas, how the Vedic systems, how the Vedic seers have scintilled their thoughts, how they have gone transcendental, how they have been parallel with the reality and have scintilled the whole universe as a single discipline. May it be numbers, may it be sound, may it be light, may it be dimensional bodies, and may it be the content, and then it may be living or a non-living bodies. Therefore, the Vedic mathematics of the Ganita Sutras is a reality based, and this reality is higher dimensional reality. So, the students of mathematics, Vedic mathematics, have to approach these Ganita Sutras as the basis of base of mathematics. So, it is basis base for all sciences, it is basis base for all technologies, and so all existence phenomenon is coverable. Now, to give you an illustration how this system works, when we are at the first Ganita Sutra, Eka Adhikain Purve, and when we are at its worst word formulation, Eka Adhikain, and when we have a translation for this Eka Adhikain into numbers, and if we put them as a graph, then it will give us a graph which will be written as 6427. This is a numbers, below is a letters, and when if we combine A, Ka, E, and see, this makes a word Rishi. When we reach up till this, it makes word Devta. When go up till this, it makes Chand. When it go up, it makes a Swar. And this is the mantra, which is a Purusha. So, the Rigved Samhita, which having a mantras, mantra is having a word formulation 24 equal to Purusha, a man. Now, each mantra is having its distinct Rishi, it is having its distinct Devata, it is having its distinct Chand, it is having its distinct Swara. So all these four aspects are here lively in the very first word Eka Adhikain of the very first sutra, and see how big potentialities are of this system. This is just an indication. When we proceed further, it will start unfolding from within, and this unfoldment from within is going to be as sun is regenerating itself and it's transcending so large volume of energy, but still its basket remains full and of equal potentialities. Therefore, if we want to be parallel with the higher dimensional reality base of Vedic Ganita Sutras mathematics, then we shall first translate into numbers, then we shall translate into a geometry, and then we shall translate them as a formats. Now on the computer screen are the sequential geometric formats of these 16 sutras. First three are on this page. Now, ekadikain literally means one more than before. Now, this one more than before is a linear sequential progression. Now, we can plot it as if line is progressing